David Axelrod made news the other day when he came on our show and said that they're willing to compromise. Totally. They certainly are willing to compromise.
And that's the end game, is you're going to see them eventually figure out some sort of way where they can put a bow on it and say, okay, we're getting these exemptions expanded.
And Willie, a warning to the left, who right now want to make this about contraception. If they want to make this about contraception, then they really don't understand what the controversy is about, because you know, I don't think most Americans have problems with contraception. It's the federal government telling a church, mandating what a church must do with their organizations. And I'll give you a good example, a personal example from my church. I'm Southern Baptist. Southern Baptist churches usually don't let women be deacons. I think that's sort of a bad idea. I think women should be deacons as well as men. That's my personal belief. But if the federal government, if the Justice Department offers a mandate ordering Southern Baptists to make women deacons, I would be the first to say, get the hell out of our business.
This is not a parallel.
It is a parallel, too.
Why don't
because
you make a
you're
parallel
trying
like Jehovah's Witnesses and blood transfusions?
See, because you're trying to make it about medicine. You're trying to make it about one particular thing. What I'm saying is the crux of this is a First Amendment issue where the federal government is stepping in and telling a religious institution what to do. Willie.
Well, Joe, you've put your finger on why this is a great issue for Republicans, not just as a social issue, but if you listen to what John Cornyn said yesterday, the Republican senator from Texas, he said exactly what you're saying. This highlights the disconnect between President Obama and his concept about the role of the federal government and its intrusiveness into people's lives. So Republicans, conservatives can take this issue and make a broader point about the way President Obama has wanted to take over the government in their view, take over health care in their view, and push his values on people who don't share them. And we also talked the other day about how this could hurt the president politically. Bob Casey, Democratic senator of Pennsylvania, a week ago on Friday, before this even exploded, rushed out a statement saying the president of the United States needs to reverse this. This is a Democrat in Pennsylvania, in a state obviously the president needs to win. This is a problem for him in places like Pennsylvania.
And that's what we were bringing up earlier. You know what I don't understand, Meek, and we were talking about this before, and Michael, Meek and I were trying to figure out, the president has punted on the Keystone Pipeline. Right. Because he knows it'll upset environmentalists. Right. And we know the day after the election, if he is reelected, he is going to support the Keystone Pipeline. He is. Yeah, everybody knows that. Absolutely. Why did he not wait, until after the election? Since there's a 1 year or 2 year waiting period, why didn't he wait on this when Catholics are the swing voter in American elections?
I think they made a political calculation and put it in the context that Mika has been arguing, that this will be more about the science and more about the health of women and more about those broader subjects, as opposed to the very difficult angle on the relationship between the government and church. But keep in mind, this administration has been down this road before and was summarily smacked down by the United States Supreme Court on January 11th this year in the Hosanna case, where they claimed that the federal government could make a decision with respect to the hiring, the relationship between a religious institution and the government. And the Supreme Court said, no way, you're out of bounds here. If there is that separation, you're breaching it.
Can I just say, let's not put the health of women in boxes or quotes like that. That's not an insignificant consideration. It's not and it's fine for us. We're four men right around this table talking about this. I'm not trying to.
Sam, I mean, I get this.
I'm deadly serious about that.
Don't suggest that you're the only one who gives a damn about the health of women around this table, because I'm a man, just because we don't want the federal government telling religious institutions what they have to do. When the conversation moves away from the mandate approach, which is a totally legitimate criticism, and we start talking about the science and actually who it benefits. We were talking about why he cynically didn't punt. Well, one reason is because a lot of people do actually benefit from this.
That's not the point that I was making. I was saying the administration looked at it through political lenses. I don't know. Not necessarily.
I don't think they did. I think they looked at it because they believe there's a right to have equal access to these medical opportunities, medical needs. And if they were being political, they wouldn't have done it.
Well, no, they were. Listen. The reason they made this mistake, and it is a political mistake, with my church, if the federal government steps into my church and tells my church how to run its business, I, along with the other members of my church, are going to tell them to get the hell out. that there's a separation between church and state, and it was put there for a reason. It goes both ways.
It's like our Parade magazine article. Is it this Sunday? About food, but it's the same thing. But
I have no idea what they said.
We'll disagree.
Coming up.